Welcome back to Disco, guys. So last time we interviewed Clashy about everything that's going on. She revealed that she in fact wasn't sexually assaulted by the soldier, I guess we can call him, by the hanged man. She did have a intimate relationship with him, or romantic relationship, carnal relationship, whatever however you want to frame it. But she actually, she had feelings for him. He didn't do anything wrong to her. But the Hardy Boys had asked her to play along with their little story to cover up the real reason he died. And obviously we know that he was shot, whereas they'd staged a hanging. Something's fishy, but she didn't tell us quite the whole truth. There is a smashed window in her apartment. We know that she's a heavy drug user, that she might be a fugitive from Oranje. So she's not telling us something, but she's told us a version of the truth. She's not necessarily lying to us. She's just perhaps omitting a bit of the truth. So we're going to have to come back to her at some point. Yeah, so Clashy told you she can't talk about him now, but you need specifics, height, build, etc. to confirm your autopsy. Ask a little later when she's collected herself. When did she say to come back? She said she'll be here until 11 at least, right? Speak to the assault victim. So confront the Hardy Boys about what Clashy told you. Yeah, we'll do that. And ask Renee, the petanque player, about Maybells. The old guy in the uniform playing petanque on the plaza, that's Renee. He looks like a war veteran. Maybe he can tell you something about the Maybells. Show them to him. And when you guys said to me, which made a lot of sense, because that's what I've been thinking about as well, just not getting too lost in chasing the white checks with my skill points. Otherwise, I think I'm going to end up with quite a scattered character build. We've already maxed out visual calculus, even though I had no plans to do so. I've got a point in authority when I didn't really want to, and a esprit de corps. So the next few levels, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to aim just for a few loose numbers here. I'm going to aim to get empathy up to 10. I'm going to try and get suggestion and savoir-faire up to 8. And then the other stats that I do kind of like, I like composure and I like drama and rhetoric are pretty useful. Although rhetoric seems a little bit, every time rhetoric's popped up, he's been a bit malicious, I guess, or conniving. But I don't know if the voices are a bit more sinister at lower levels, maybe. Could be something to think about, right? So I'm not gonna be saving a point. At least, I might change my mind about this, but I'm gonna put another point in empathy because I want my empathy to be rock solid, and I want it to be the main voice that comes through. So I'd like to get this to a 10 at least. I've got one of our journal is bumping that up at the minute, so I'm gonna maybe get that up to 11 in case I need to unequip this for whatever reason. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So we need to go talk to the Hardy Boys. We can't get in this door. We need a Herculean effort to get in there. Let's go, Kimmy. I just wanted to, I don't know how far we are into the game. I don't know if we're at the midpoint, the early midpoint, the late midpoint. I don't know. But I just want to say I'm having such a good time with Disco, guys. I'm having such a good time. It's like a good book, this. It really is. It's just like a good book. It's just like the perfect merge of, role-playing video games and that kind of long form novel that you can really just get invested in, and you feel like the characters, their nuances, the small things about them. It's it's just a fantastic experience so far. I'm just really enjoying it. One of those, it can feel like when you play a game that's obviously as long as this, with so much dialogue, so many things that you can look into, or you could choose not to look into. You get to a point where you all of a sudden realize that you've learned so much about the world, but you still have so much to learn. And, you've just kind of been ticking along, gathering all this information, and yeah, it's great. Right, let's talk to these fellows.
It's you again. What is it?
He acknowledges you gruffly. So obviously I've not re-equipped all my authority buffs. I want to talk about the hanging again. Let's go over the rape victim again. Clashy says... Hang on, we shouldn't really tell him this, right? We shouldn't tell him that. No, wait. She said not to tell them that she's the one who rang the RCM. Obviously, she doesn't want them to know that. What did she say about this? The rape victim again.
Again? Seriously?
No, never mind.
Whatever.
Okay, I guess this is the only way forward then. I'm worried that this will get her in trouble, but... Clashy says she wasn't raped.
Fuck! I knew that fucking whore couldn't be trusted.
The big man's eyes and veins bulge.
You've hit a nerve. Titus is furious. No, more than that. The loyal Titus feels betrayed.
For the record, Titus Hardy did not explicitly specify the victim as a whore, nor did he say anything about trusting her.
Oh, shut up and stay out of this, Liz.
He turns back to us.
He raped her. He was out of his fucking mind. You have no idea.
So this is all... It's either out of just convenience for the case or a bit of jealousy or a bit of both.
She's just in denial, asshole. You don't understand the traumatic experience. She's shutting down, and she doesn't fucking trust you.
Okay, you guys obviously know what happened better than she did.
Yeah, she's crazy, you know. A crazy bitch. You know the type. She's fucked up.
Crazy, what are you talking about? She was very lucid. Yeah, she was very lucid. I did think that, yeah, that she's a little crazy. Cut the bullshit. She told me the truth. Crazy, yeah, what are you talking about? She was completely lucid.
She wasn't raped. The witnesses' statements were very clear.
The lieutenant's voice is beginning to betray his agitation.
Lawman, I'm at the end of my goddamn rope with you. I fucking told you not to push her.
He says through clenched teeth.
And you went and pushed her.
Something...
I am gonna fucking...
Liz?
Hit you. Duck.
Titus Hardy.
Her voice rings through the room like a warning shot.
Everett personally sent me to take care of this. If this goes south, we'll all be in the shit. But you, Titus Hardy, are going to be buried. Am I understood?
The room is so quiet you could hear a pin drop. The rest of the cafeteria has gone quiet, too.
Lizzie laying down the law here to you, big man Titus.
Someone has to rush in to break the tension. The second in command.
Look, Copper. We know that that fuck was a rapist and a killer. We got him confessing to it on tape.
What?
Show it to him, T. What's the harm, right?
He turns to Titus, who's still breathing heavily.
Here, jerkwad, listen to this shit. And then come back and tell me the soldier of the apocalypse was an innocent man.
Huh. Interesting.
This is their last play, this
Yeah.
tape. Their story is in tatters, a mess. It might be nice to listen to, but at this point, you don't need to.
Why should I care about the tape? You lied to me. So what's on this tape? Where did you get this tape? Where can I listen to this? Why should I care about this tape?
You don't care about evidence. The fuck are you a cop for, then?
His eye twitches.
Pigs, T. They don't care about getting the truth. They care about getting convictions. They are fucking keeping a score on their bulletin boards.
I won't be on your bulletin board. If you don't listen to the tape, we got nothing to talk about.
Our tape player's broken though, right? What's on it?
What's on it? We call it the door gun a mega mix. You'll know why. Won't you listen to it?
And where did you manufacture this so-called evidence?
You think we go into this shit deaf and dumb? You RCM aren't the only ones who know how to bug people. There's no university degree for that.
So, you've tapped someone's phone, or you tapped Clashy's apartment.
We have machines. We're in logistics. How do you think a harbor works? It's advanced stuff.
Understood? You've listened in on their communications. How long?
He takes a little note.
Since way before their chief started taking swing lessons.
Things got nice and quiet after that.
Which one of you's doing this advanced radio work then?
It's not advanced. You just hold up in a coop all day, writing down what they say. It gets hot as hell in there.
So it's you then, Fat Angus.
Don't put yourself down, Angus. It's important work.
The chief picks his beer back up to offer a silent toast.
Yeah, man. You're like a radio genius or something. Those notes are some in-depth stuff. Indexes and shit.
Where can I listen to it?
I'm sure we can find a tape player.
The lieutenant whispers.
Where can I listen to this? Why don't you try shoving it up your ass, genius?
Okay, great.
Yeah, play it with your ass, cocksucker.
His voice echoes like thunder in the small room.
I'm sure we can find a tape player. It's not a problem.
He repeats calmly in a hushed voice.
Your room had one. Or maybe it's too broken.
All right.
Don't forget your tape, lawman. Compliments of Titus Hardy.
He pushes the little tape towards you with his giant hand. Sure.
You do that. Oh, and keep it. Maybe you'll need a reminder of human ugliness someday.
Yeah, the tape player in our room was broken, right? Did Roy have one for sale? Doggone a Mega Mix. Yeah, find one from a pawn shop. It's gonna cost real money, cash money. Magnetic tape acquired from Titus Hardy. It supposedly holds a recording of the mercenary task force radio communications recorded via a de-encryption station. Not a good omen. Requires a boombox to play.
You stare at the great door gunner Megamix. If only you had a boombox, you would be able to play Titus's tape. The tape feels ominous. Upon it, the dead speak. Respect the tape.
Yes, Inland Empire. Okay. I'm pretty sure the one in our room is bilked, isn't it? Let's just double check. The only thing I don't like about this game are the loading screens. But I don't mind. Here we go.
The compact tape player is still and silent. Seems it has completely broken down now. There's no fixing this one.
This would have been very helpful with the Megamix, but it isn't anymore.
Yeah, any ideas, Kimmy?
My Kinema only comes with radio. Let's try to find a new tape player.
Yep. Come on, Kimnema. Sorry, I tried to merge his name with the car. Did we already talk to Roy about this? Because we've talked to Roy about everything that's for sale in his shop. It was very expensive from what I remember. We should probably talk to our partner again, but sack it. Now it's nearly 6 o'clock and we are skint. We are royally skint. We should probably talk to Joyce as well. Maybe talk to Kuno as well. Alright, Roy, my man. Oh, no. Let's talk to Renee first, before they trot off to bed or something. Hello again, Renee. You're probably sick of the sight of me by now.
Vigilance officer, what can this old carabinier do for you?
Do Maybells mean anything to you, Renee?
I prefer the old name, Insulindian Lily. Girls bought them to young cadets when they entered service. Wearing them on your cap was supposed to bring good luck.
Hold on, is this a royalist military tradition?
It used to be. But the communards were fond of them too. call them revolutionary flowers. Bells of the revolution.
Did they bring you good luck?
You know what? No. They brought me misery, false hope, and disappointment. The revolutionaries sullied them.
He falls silent, and the emerging smile withdraws. Maybe that Jean, was it Marie? Did she give him one at some point?
You stirred up some bad memories there.
Hmm.
But it wasn't the revolutionaries that sullied the ID for you, was it? She gave them to me too, and your jealous little heart just couldn't accept it.
He looks at the old soldier almost gently.
Enough! I can go over these matters in detail with you, Gaston, but not while we have company. So, officers.
Maybells don't blossom yet, do they?
The lieutenant quickly asks.
Maybe on some remote parts of the city they do. But I think you'll have to wait for at least a month.
So Jean-Marie meant a lot to you?
There's nothing for you to understand here. It is not her death you are investigating.
Where were you when you had that photo taken?
Revachol Fair of 91 in the Faubourg district. A parade was held to honor Guillaume Le Lion's name day, and the Carabineers marched in the place of honor.
You were smiling in the picture.
This was the happiest day of my life.
This is said in such a matter-of-fact tone. It leaves no room for doubt. How did she die?
Absolutely not. She died of pneumonia in her bed at the age of 79. This is highly usual.
Fair enough. Gaston, what happened with you and Jean-Marie?
I was 22 when I returned from King Guillaume's Akira operation in the south and found my sweetheart in the arms of this wretch. I won her back, but while I was dealing with some issues...
Hmm?
You were like a dark cloud sucking the joy out of every living thing around you. And you hurt her.
He quickly glances at you.
Dark cloud. That sounds unpleasantly familiar.
Hmm. He looks down at his boots, lips moving, but the words are inaudible. Maybe he was suffering with some post-trauma, maybe after serving in the army. Maybe he was depressed after he came back. Maybe he was injured. Maybe that led to some domestic violence.
Those days and memories are gone.
He nods and looks at René with something resembling compassion.
The old soldier says nothing, but when his glance quickly runs over Gaston's face, there's an odd look in his eyes. Could it be guilt?
We'll come back for this. Our drama will be good at some point. I like these guys. I like them because, you know, there's a lot of politics in this game, but I often find that in reality, you know, when people have sometimes have differing opinions to you on politics, not extreme, you think, to the point, but you know, I just show, you know, you can be cordial, you can be friends, you can be companions with someone who has very different fundamental beliefs to you, has led a very different life to you. I feel like in the kind of internet age, people get very lost in, you know, drawing lines in the sand and casting differences between themselves and people with differing political beliefs, whereas in the real world, if you have to go and work at a job or whatever, there's going to be people there who you maybe don't agree with on certain things, but it doesn't mean you can't find some commonalities with them as human beings, right? You know, it's always nice. I think it's really helpful for people not to exist inside bubbles, you know, inside like little echo chambers. It's nice to talk to people who believe different things to you.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Yes, Roy. More drugs, please. No, oh, sorry. I'm looking for a tape player.
Yeah, we still have those boom boxes on the shelves.
Oh, Oh, it was up here, right?
The boomboxes wait on the shelves.
Oh,
And your
flipping egg.
boombox, that gold and amber Harmon Waushi, stares at you longingly with its tape reel eyes.
Can I just play a tape on it quickly?
Sorry, man. I can't be giving out freebies. Never have, won't now.
Can I trade you your own drugs back for it? I'm not going to use them. Police discount?
A discount? I do have to keep the lights on, man. It's 12 real.
We're on the clock here, Roy.
Just don't ask him for the smallest amount. You'll insult him. The others will work. Careful. You can only do this once.
Okay, let me hit you with this. 4 real. What do you say? I don't even have 8. I've got stuff to sell, though. Just don't ask him for the smallest amount. The others will work. 8?
Actually, yes. Let's. 8 is an even better number than 12. Even more internal balance. Better integrity, too.
Alright, I need to sell you some
Hello.
junk first. Yes.
Sure. Let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Fuel canister. We can't sell this gun. Can't sell the photo of Renee. How much do we need? Empty cassette. We need like 150, right? Hang on.
Another time, perhaps.
There's no interact on this, is there? I hope I'm not going to need this at some point. It's just an item. It's not. It would be in the tools tab, right? It would be in the tools tab. I don't really want to sell any clothes. Well, I mean, there are some clothes we could argue about selling, right? You know, things that do the same thing. Like, this has +1 esprit de corps, but this has +1 esprit de corps and +1 shivers, so there's no reason for us to keep the disco blazer, right? Right. I'm gonna sell the fuel canister.
Hello. Sure. Let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, perhaps.
Oh, okay. I just want to be able to press escape to exit the conversation.
Boomboxes
Sorry.
wait on the shelves, and your boombox, that gold and amber Harmon Waushi, stares at you longingly with its tape reel eyes.
Okay. This is going to make it really difficult for us to get enough money to stay at the Whirling in Rags tonight. So, yeah, thanks for the discount, mate. Here's the money.
And here you are. Quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything, wherever. Turn any tape into a conversation of sounds and shapes.
Should we be bothered about Roy hearing this? Ah.
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reels attach to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader.
Does it matter if we're here? You push commencer, and the tape starts spinning. Violent static and machine sounds fill the air.
Das ist ne Revachol. Das is a fucking village. I can almost see the elephants.
He's Scottish. This is near Revachol. This is a fucking village. Can almost see the elephants. Another loud screech. Some kind of machinery. Yeah.
The harbor. That's the son of a Kvalson crane.
Okay, the lieutenant takes out his notebook.
When this shit is done, I'm gonna tear that place up. Soldier of the apocalypse style. Kill shit. Dogs and chickens too. Gonna run a room, Cordy. A real nice room. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking done. I'm done mentally.
This part is unintelligible.
I'll fucking do them all in. Rape that disco cunt on the counter. You know, the dance a whore upstairs. Do it Kohoi style.
That doesn't necessarily mean clashy. That could mean what's her name who worked there.
Never did get that taste out of my mouth.
A click, then silence. The rest of the tape is empty.
The lieutenant presses the button marked Arrête on your portal reel. The tape stops spinning.
What do you think, Kimmy?
It seemed authentic enough. Probably recorded off the shortwave, then edited to seem more incriminating. He sounded like he was on patrol around the harbor walls.
I agree. He also sounded inebriated, but he did say he's going to do it. You can't edit words into someone's mouth. I think he sounded alright, just letting off some steam. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean he was necessarily going to do it, right? You know, guys do say hideous things like that sometimes, right? When it's as an expression of anger, right? Hyperbole to just express a hatred for someone, right? You'd then say something hideous. But if if it was just to your buddies, I guess you'd say when you're with your friends, sometimes you do say some pretty like exorbitant things, just in exaggeration, right? Maybe to just get a chuckle out of your friends as well, right? I'm not saying that, but that's what it felt like. It didn't feel like he was being particularly literal. Didn't feel like he was being particularly literal to me, but I could be wrong. He sounded a bit drunk.
Still.
The lieutenant looks at the tape. You're familiar with this look now. It's his look of suspicion.
There's more going on here than we know.
What was that at the very end? Silence.
End of recording.
Corty?
One of the other mercenaries, I think. The one he was talking to. A friend of his?
Maybe. What's Kohoi?
A village on the Samaran Isola, in South Safre. Grad committed war crimes there, the kind of thing he talks about.
You think he was part of that?
Who knows? Maybe the tattoos would have an answer. We would need to know the story of this man's service.
Yeah. What now then?
I think we've got a few more questions for class here, don't you? This seems to contradict her testimony, at least to some degree.
As you take out the tape, the boombox tunes itself back to the cheery radio again, spewing out beats like it's a Friday night.
All right.
The contrast feels chilly, inappropriate even.
All right, I'm going to listen to that again.
The portal reel is...
Das ist ne Revachol. Das is a fucking village. I can almost see the elephants.
Another loud screech, some kind of machinery.
The harbor. That's the son of a Kvalson crane.
When this shit is done, I'm gonna tear that place up. Soldier of the apocalypse style. Kill shit. Dogs and chickens too. Gonna run a room, Cordy. A real nice room. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking done. I'm done mentally. I'll fucking do them all in. Rape that disco cunt on the counter. You know, the dance a whore upstairs. Do it Kohoi style. Never did get that taste out of my mouth.
The lieutenant presses the button.
A village on the Samaran Isola, in South Safre. Who knows?
Right.
I think we've got a few.
As you take out the tape, the boombox, the contrast feels.
Yeah, I don't think he necessarily meant he was going to do it. He could have, like, could have just been a bit drunk. Could have just been angry. Yeah, I'm not convinced he believed he was going to do it. That he meant he was going to do it. All right, let's go back to Clashy. She said come back a bit later than this, but we've got new information. The accents were a little difficult to parse then, because we had that like Scottish sounding accent. We had a very kind of, I don't know how you describe an American accent like that. Very dude-ish accent. But there was also another accent in there somewhere. A different American accent, like a gruffer one. The first one sounded Scottish, really sounded Scottish. Unless they've done like a weird mix of accents for the Oranese. See you later, Kimmy. We've locked Kimmy out again. Right. I've got to see why there has to be 2 loading screens here. Frustration. Alright, what have you got to say, Clashy? Maybe she's gone. No, not at all. She's got endless amounts of coffee and cigarettes.
What brings you up here in the rain?
She leans back against the railing. Titus Hardy gave us a recording where the deceased states his intention to commit rape.
She puts her coffee cup down with a soft ring as the porcelain meets the metal table. This does not surprise her.
Did he? I never said he was a good man, or that he had good intentions. Only that he was never bad to me.
A smile flits across her face. On this tape, he specifically identifies you as the target.
Where did they get this recording exactly?
Yeah.
It's intercepted radio chatter of the deceased, recorded via a de-encryption station. It's authentic enough.
Does he say he's gonna do it Soldier of the Apocalypse style?
She arches her brow. Something to that effect, yeah.
The phrase was used.
The lieutenant checks his notes and nods.
Yeah. That was practically his pickup line.
Told you. I told you, Kimmy. She picks the cup back up.
Did he say whores a lot? Was he pretty much on the verge of doing it Holly style?
Yep. Whore was used.
He liked the way it sounded when he said it. As to Cohoy?
The young woman lights a new cigarette with the butt of her old one.
He wasn't actually there. He didn't do a tour, or at least didn't tell me he did. Would have been overkill anyway. He lived his own little Cohoy. It wasn't his everything.
I mean, it's just him being being brazen, right?
Yes. Was he bragging?
Oh no, I'm pretty sure he did all those things. Then integrated them into his idea of normalcy. To keep on living. Until they just sort of turn into his, what's the word I'm looking for?
Persona?
Running joke. I was gonna say running joke. And it sounds like you didn't even get the good bits. Lely's punchlines got way, way funkier than that. He was like the Seminoles conflict, the Cohoy massacre, and the 36 famine in Yezut all rolled into one person, then cast in Orani ceramic armor, which he wore in bed and in the shower.
When he said he was done, and done mentally, it didn't sound like a joke. It sounded like a deeply troubled man.
Hold on. He said he was mentally done. That's That sounds like a broken man to me.
Well, maybe I pieced him back together with my magical personality.
A fixer-upper, right? Weren't you afraid of him?
Afraid of what? That tape the Hardy Boys recorded? Your mother probably never told you this, but girls are evil. Had I the physical robustness and social support, I'd be in Kohoi. I would be tearing it up Soldier of the Apocalypse style.
Did he tell you he had actually done any of those things? He and Martinez, I mean?
No. We were too busy laying waste to our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outward. He seemed happy, I guess. At ease. As much as a man like him could be.
There is a small measure of pride in her that she could quell the rage in such a being.
She does seem quite conceited.
What kind of man was he? Before you go, ask for details. She seems okay to talk about it.
Thank you for clearing that up, miss. Whenever you're ready. I'm interested to hear what Titus Hardy has to say now.
Oh, we're just going back and forth here.
She takes a very small sip of her coffee and smiles.
Now that you've had some time, can you tell us some more about the victim?
Like, for example, his name?
Actually, officer, I didn't know his name. I just called him Lely.
A nickname?
I guess. He came from Lelystad. It's short for that. And it was his army name, apparently. He said his real name wasn't his. I tried to pry it out of him, but it was no use.
Lelystad. That's a good start.
The lieutenant writes it down in his notebook.
We have a few questions you can help us with. A few things a field autopsy alone can't answer.
The young woman cranes her neck, trying to catch a glimpse of the page the lieutenant passed to you. On it is a list of autopsy observations recorded neatly in blue ink. The last missing pieces of a puzzle of flesh.
Where is Lelystad? The place, I mean.
In Oranje, officer. It's, I think municipality is the term. A nowhere town there.
I am parched. Sorry. A municipality.
Oranje? Oranje's map of waterways? This fits with his tattoo.
This means his race was Occidental, which fits the statements of another witness.
You were both from Oranje?
Yes. We were compatriots.
Yep.
Did that bring you together?
No. He was too old for that. And from another part of Oranjenrek. I didn't even understand his accent. What brought us together wasn't Oranje. It was bad habits.
Yeah, fair enough.
No love for Muta Oranje? Wasn't he a soldier?
A military man, but not a patriot?
No. He left the national service after they taught him to do what he did on Seminine. He wasn't the flag-waving kind. He was the making money, killing people kind.
Which one's worse, right?
He was by no means a stupid man. A people person. A small platoon leader. Certainly not a patriot.
She takes a long drag of her cigarette, then washes it down with coffee. Yeah, I guess it's just like what's worse, the naivety of patriotism or the selfishness of soldier of fortune, right? Which is worse.
A flash of rage comes over you. The words have already left your mouth.
A disgraceful mercenary. Oranje's state should have checked his breast for sublime patriotic rage before they trained him. Okay, great. I don't have any other option but to say this.
Had he passed that test, we wouldn't have gotten along. Come to think of it, maybe it was our hateful Oranje that brought us together. I love Revachol, though. I hope she loves me, too.
She looks around, the wind in her hair. How old was he? Everyone else has said he's around 40, 50, right?
He was 42.
42? Are you sure? I would have had him above 50.
He had many scars that made him appear older. But no.
The memory makes us smile.
We even celebrated his birthday, like, some weeks ago. It was a funny 2 days. He had little reason to lie to me.
We were slightly off then. Thank you for clearing it up.
The lieutenant makes a correction in his notes.
Points are good. Have one, you old dog, before we all die.
Well, they got 2 health, mate. Eye colour, please.
Blue. Light blue. They were like...
She stopped, her eyes half closed.
Like little blue galaxies, you know? It was strange, seeing those eyes in his fucked up face.
Innocence behind a veil.
Pardon the swearing. I do him an injustice. He wasn't ugly. And he had a beautiful, soft voice. Very surprising, what with all the scarring. It was quite something, watching him speak.
He had a combat wound on his chin and mouth?
Yes. Severe. It made him look like half his face was cracking away in some strange smile. That and those eyes.
Ah, yes. His hair, if you can remember?
It was light brown, almost blonde. He darkened it with brilliantine, made it oily. Not nice to stroke. I couldn't convince him to leave it alone.
Interesting. I too have stroked his hair. Kim, I said to put the brilliantine on the form. Do I get a point?
No.
But I put it down there.
Okay, sure. Here you go. What else are we missing, officer?
He asks, trying to get the questioning back on track. Do you know anything about his tattoo's meaning?
Oh, that.
Huh. She wasn't a fan.
It's clear she liked it.
Oh. You liked it?
Quite a lot, yes.
It was an Orangese map of the waterways.
Sure, waterways. It was mostly for showing off to chicks, though.
How?
How? Imagine him lying in bed. Freakish musculature laid out on the sheets. Scarred, of course. Tattooed. The sheets are dirty for some reason. He's smoking and drinking, of course. And his chest and shoulders and arms are studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them. Maybe even thousands. And the woman goes like, "What was this, baby?"
She points at the air with her sharp-nailed finger, picking out an imaginary tattoo star.
And he says, "That was too hardcore. Don't ask me about that." So she goes, "Okay, but what's this, baby?" And he's like, "Saw some bat shit there. Killed some loincloths." And so it goes. Star after star, port after port, third world country after third world country. And he's done horrible things in every single one of them.
And you're the person who was so amazed by all these platitudes.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us precisely what these mean?
No, thank you.
She doesn't
I've
take
seen
it.
enough of him dead. I can tell you what they meant without looking at them.
She pours herself some more coffee.
Go on.
Admiring that kind of thing kind of sounds like... how do I phrase this? The idea of what a woman admires in a man from the perspective of a man. Right? Maybe that's just me.
He was a blue-eyed boy with thick arms, from a small town. He was also poor, and the government of Orania needed some people killed, so they turned him into a grotesque killer. For money. He went to Killer Academy in Vredefort. Then he killed some people in the Semenine Islands. And on other islands, too. All of the islands. After this, he came to Revachol and got killed himself.
Lots of death, not much fun in there.
It is when you're high. It can be very exciting then. You have the tools to deal with it. It's not a very nice story to remember when you're sober. A change of topic?
Tell me something odd. Did he enjoy his death?
Why do you ask?
She seems unsurprised.
Just have her answer the question. Don't give explanations.
Please answer the question, miss. Did he enjoy the moment of his death? It's just a feeling I have. Indulge me. I kind of want to give an explanation, though. Indulge me.
Well, it's wrong. He had too many drinks to down and too many bad things to do. Couldn't tap out just yet.
Everything checks out here. It's all A-OK.
Oh yeah, Volition
Good answer.
told me not to trust any of these.
No, it doesn't check out. Can't you see she's clearly avoiding something here?
Yeah, maybe he had a death wish.
That's a strange thing to suggest. The lady is as fair and just.
Let's ask again.
Why do you ask?
Just have her answer the question.
Please.
Don't give explanations.
Please answer the question, miss. Did he enjoy the moment of his death?
I don't think he enjoyed dying, officer. He had too much left to do. Too many third world conflicts. Couldn't tap out just yet.
Right, so... if he enjoyed his death, okay. Right. Maybe that was his purpose here. Maybe he's... the reason... maybe he understood that there was going to be no resolution on the terms of Wild Pines. So the plan was to provoke some sort of conflict and encourage and get them to commit an act of violence against them to escalate the situation, which will ultimately benefit Wild Pines.
Everything checks out here. No, it doesn't. That's a strange thing to suggest. The lady is as fair and just.
We ordered a toxicology report. Any idea what it will show us?
A real rainbow splattering of pharmaceuticals, I bet.
She grins.
Barbiturates, amphetamine, sildenafil. How much does the toxicology report cost the police of Revachol? I can do it for half of that. Save you some money, make some myself.
No, you're all right.
It's quite expensive, miss. But we'll manage without your help for now.
I think that's it, Kimmy.
All right.
The lieutenant puts his slip back in his notes and observes the young woman for a moment.
Coolly, gracefully, she pours herself more coffee.
Right, let's come back to this later, Clashy.
Wait, stop. That man, bloated beyond all recognition, was 42?
That's what she said.
Below the damage, the weeks of decomposition, all the swollen indignity of morality. He was 42 years old?
And?
How old are you? That's where this is going. 45,000 litres of raw alcohol has left its disfigurements. What lies beneath, you wonder?
I remember at university, one of the metaphors for the human experience that always felt very truthful to me was, I can't remember which philosopher it was, but who said that the analogy of a person being like a blank canvas is one of the worst analogies that you can think of, where you just have this thing that's blank and you throw all this paint on it and all the paint sticks and all the things that you've thrown at it form you as a person. That really couldn't be further from the truth. And the analogy was that you're more like a blank piece of rock that's ready to be sculpted, and life's experience is a chipping away process, and as you go through life, small pieces of you will break off and leave, and even though those are things that you're not going to do or not going to achieve or not going to become, who you are becomes a more defined and singular and purposeful image. However, as part of that process, things might get chipped and break away that you actually wanted to keep, mistakes you've made, damages you've done, the aging process, you know, and you might yearn for those pieces to be reattached, but they're never going to come back. Yeah, I always think of that metaphor.
You could ask either one of them.
Miss, how old do you think I am?
Huh. How old do I think you are?
She leans in closer.
She's buying time to formulate the best answer. Look who's finally awake.
I don't know. 40? I was like 9 when OO peaked. That was what, 19 years ago? I liked them when I was 9. You couldn't have liked it when you were 40.
Hey! So don't say I'm 60.
Let's say you were 20-something. 25. A good disco age. 25 plus 19 is 44. I'm gonna say you're 44.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a university degree, you know?
She flicks ash from a cigarette. Did it say on our badge how old we were?
Absolutely. Age is just a number, man.
Sorry, I didn't read that. 44, I'm young.
Yes, miss, but for him that number is 56.
What?
Wait. This requires scientific measurements.
Alright, I'm not afraid of the truth.
To the laboratorium.
Damn it. Oh, I do have a skill point. And we have got quite a lot of thoughts we could be doing. We've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more slots. But I want to be spending points just on building myself up a little bit for the time being. Your face looks like it's 58 and your body feels like it's 60. Your mind feels like it's lived for 1 day or 100, both longer than they ought to be, the day and the century. But for how long then has this thing attached to your sentence walked the planet's crust? Time to start racking those brains of yours, Elder One. When and where were you born? What did it say on our ID? Who knows? Alright, let's bump our empathy again, because that's what I said I wanted to do. And we need to go and talk to... I thought we needed to go and talk to Titus, yeah, about the Dorgan and Megamix. Right, let's go and do that. I think they might have left, though. It's past 6 o'clock now, right? And we've got to go through like 18 different doorways, loading screens even, just to get back down there. I really would have thought if they, because has it been 18 months since this came out? They might have found a way of streamlining the load times a little bit. Because, you know, the game is beautiful, but I can't, I mean, what's my GPU loadout while we're running around? Hang on, let's just get back to the main game. I mean, I'm playing on a 3070. We're playing it. I've got it locked at 60 FPS. Playing it 2K. And I've got OBS capturing at max set quality. And I'm on about 40% GPU load, so feels like they could have streamlined the loading a little bit. What do I know about game development? Nothing. Right.
It's you again.
Yes.
What is it?
Kimmy kind of blends in with his orange jacket, right? Hadn't realised that. Yeah, I talked to Clashy about the tape.
Man. He tenses immediately. Chest tightens. Jaw sets. Ready for another blow.
Nothing. She stands by what she said last time.
That fucking fucker. You're the worst cops in Revachol. I gave you gold on that tape.
He stares at his beer for 2 seconds intently, then turns to you. Gold? It was just locker room talk. It's not evidence. It was dark stuff, but it didn't prove anything, and it didn't change her mind. Yeah, it was bad. Honestly, I expected it to have more effect. She pretty much laughed it off, Titus. Yeah, she pretty much laughed it off, mate.
Fucking fuckity fucker. And what did she say then? That it's fine. People are supposed to be like that.
He shakes his head in disbelief. I mean, yeah, people have different senses of humour, mate.
Sounds like he wanted it to change her mind about the hanged man. This is definitely personal.
It didn't come as a surprise to her, and she definitely wasn't scared. Actually, I think it made her a little nostalgic. If anything, she seemed turned on by the whole door gunning thing. Titus, she said she would like to be a little door gunner herself if she could. Yeah.
Yes. In fact, I think she thought it was a little funny.
The lieutenant looks at you, then him. Oh, dude, he's not going to like this.
Funny. No good goddamn psycho whore.
Titus mumbles, his lips barely moving.
All right. All fucking righty then. I guess it's good then. That fucking...
He slams his giant fist onto the door frame.
Please try to control yourself in the presence of visitors, Titus.
Her voice is a bit softer than earlier. Man, she must hate having to represent these goons.
Okie dokie. This is just perfect. Just fucking perfect. Any thoughts on this, lawman?
Titus rubs his chin with his palm, as if trying to grind it smooth. I think it's personal for you. I think you had feelings for her. Maybe she isn't who you thought she was. Maybe she's still in denial, you know, like a defense mechanism. Be straight with me, Titus. What really happened? Yeah, I think this is personal for you, buddy.
Everyone's got feelings for each other. Where are you going with this?
Shut up, dude. The state of your hair and you're chiming in. Look at this guy's hair. That looks like the same wig that our partner's got on over there, just with a hat on. Glenn explodes with indignation.
It's all right, Glenn. I just thought I thought anyone would come around if they heard that shit. Apparently I was wrong.
Yeah. He rubs his temple.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
He smiles sympathetically.
He wanted her to see the man for what he was. Now that you know, you might want to lay off this topic, or else you might antagonize him.
I just got too worked up. Big man lost his shit. It's cool now.
He shakes his head. Maybe she just isn't who you thought she was.
Nah. I know her. She's just a girl. In over her head.
Just a girl. He looks upstairs distracted. Titus, she has my whole skill set compromised. She's some kind of pro. Excuse me. She's not some helpless girl. She handled the mercenary well enough. She's a hardcore party girl with a bigger death wish than mine. She's not some helpless girl. She handled the mercenary well enough.
Handled him? She got into some stupid shit with that guy. Shit we had to take care of.
Yes, yes, we heard all about it, and the fact still stands. You were more disturbed by the tape than her.
Suggestion said to not antagonize him too much. And I don't think she's in denial, so... Be straight with me, Titus. What really happened?
I already told you. We fucking hanged him.
He puts his giant face in his hands and sighs.
There's less gusto in his voice now. His men too are growing increasingly silent. The man is slowing down. Looks like a bad blood sugar crash. He can't keep track of all the variables anymore.
Come on, Titus. We know you didn't hang him. He was shot.
He taps on his
I know
notebook.
You're tired. So am I. Why don't you just...
You know what? I am tired. I'm tired of you and the whore upstairs.
He gets closer.
Next time you see her, tell her Titus said, "Fuck off!"
Throws his beer can down.
That lying, scamming. We're done. This is over. You understand? Your little investigation is over.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
There's silence in the room. Alan starts saying something, then thinks best not to.
On the floor, beer drips out of the can into a small puddle. No one does anything about it.
What is this quiet funeral shit? All we need is some beers in us. Bartender, 20 beers for the Dock Workers Union.
Why do we make it 40, huh? Why do we make it 100 beers? You're not loud enough.
Don't have a gart. You're gonna get slapped, buddy.
100 beers? Now we're talking. Hoppity hop over here, cafeteria manager.
Oh, another 83. Flipping heck. Convince Titus he's being manipulated. I don't think we have any rhetoric boost in clothes. I'm just gonna check though. I'm pretty sure we don't have anything to boost rhetoric. Oh, minus to rhetoric. Ah, bugger off. No. Man, me and these 83s. I'm not saving because I'm going to reload. I just might as well, right?
It's you again. What is it?
Here we go, guys. Here we go. Another 83. I don't think there's anything that's going to reopen this check because we've pretty much discussed everything with him, unless maybe talking to Everard maybe bumps it again. I've missed a few 83s, I think. I think we've missed 3 83s.
Convince Titus he's being manipulated. You should know by now. Titus Hardy will never falter.
One of his boys might.
Just remember, it's about more than Glasia. It's about these men and Martinez. Their district. Their responsibility.
Okay. So there's just no way. That's it then. Case closed. We're going home, Kim.
Huh?
The lieutenant raises his brow.
He'll get it. Go on.
Write it down, Kim. In Martinez, they just kill you because they don't like you.
Got it. Kill you because they don't like you. All because...
Because you work for the wrong people. Because of some chick.
Bring that up one more time, and you won't get to write that report.
A wince. It's involuntary.
Yes, I understand, Alain. That's your name, right, Alain? You'll kill us. That's what they do in the Wild North.
He scratches in his notebook. They just hang you, like in the Dark Ages, make a display of your corpse. They just hang you, shoot you, whatever. They can't even remember. They just hang you, shoot you, light you on fire. They just hang you, shoot you, whatever. They can't even remember.
It wasn't that. It wasn't. We didn't shoot him.
We. The fat man says with a wheeze.
That's it. That's the weak one. You flushed him out. Now go in for the...
Officer, you will be next if you don't shut up.
The old man reaches for his belt, but his voice is strangely calm.
Firearm. A Glass 08 or a 38 caliber pistol. Either is small enough for you to have missed. He's onto you. He knows what you're trying to do. Steel yourself. Push on. Just ignore Theo.
Oh. Angus is the chubby guy. Or what? You're gonna kill me like you killed him for no fucking reason? Steel yourself, push on, ignore Theo.
We didn't kill him. We didn't even hang him. He was dead when...
You just dug the grave. He takes a breath, wheezing.
Shut up, Angus!
He was dead before you hanged him.
Fatty! Say one fixing out.
The little guy hits Angus on the back of the head. A loud slap.
Dennis, stand down, or I'll beat your head in. Theo, take your hand off the belt. This isn't 31. I've got this under control.
Does he? His closed fist is shaking. It's you who's in control.
Oh,
Let them
yes.
have their moment.
I'm drunk on the power.
The room falls quiet. So quiet, you can hear Angus wheeze.
Angie, where's your goddamn inhaler? You sound like you're dying.
I left it home. I can't get it. I'm too fucked. I'm sorry.
He grabs his chest. All right, I'm starting to feel bad now. I'm asthmatic.
Why are you so fucking fat, Angus? Now it's all pointless. Because of you. You wasted my time. I told you, Titus. I told you just give her up.
She turns to him. Lizzie snaps at Angus earlier.
Lizzie, your help is no longer needed here. Go tell Everard.
He turns to the fixer.
Fine. I'll tell him. After a long walk along the coast.
She walks off without looking back.
What just happened between these two? You're in. He's all yours. Questions.
I don't care about them fighting. Kim, we did it. So who killed the merc then? Any leads?
Not yet. Just some ideas. She says the shot came from outside, behind the window somewhere. So that's a clue.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking someone's past caught up with them. Either hers or his.
Behind the window somewhere.
Hers, you mean?
She's got one of those checkered pasts. The shot could have missed. Could have been meant for her.
I like that. Been thinking the same thing myself.
And you had ideas about his past too?
My dude. One of those mercenary buddies of his could have done it. They got guns, training, years of bad blood, probably. Or it could have been someone else from Crenell.
He pauses to think. I'm getting confused whether they mean the drug trade lady or Clashy. I think they obviously mean the drug trade lady, the 8th Hardy. Let's call her the Hardy girl.
Tell you what I'd do. Check out the coast for vantage points. Maybe consult with a ballistics buddy of mine. That's what I'd do. If I wasn't too busy doing this clown dance with you.
He's calm now. Threw all that turmoil away and became himself again.
If Clashy didn't kill him, why the cover-up?
You may have noticed our girl's in some shit of her own.
She told me some people were after her from Oranje. She wouldn't say more.
Yeah, she wouldn't. She's fucked if she shows up on police radar.
And who are these people?
They're powerful, connected to the moral intern. She's clearly afraid for her life. Says if she showed up in your systems, she'd be ghosted away.
He looks out the window. I wonder if the boring bureaucrat is connected to her in some way.
And why would you help someone like that? By taking on a murder?
Why would I? I guess we abide all sorts of runaways and losers here. It's a Martinez thing.
So he was already dead.
He nods.
You hanged the corpse to cover up the real cause of death. The bullet in his head.
Another nod.
Why?
'Cause the girls asked us to. They were in some shit.
Did she kill him?
Cop, I have no idea. The girl says she didn't.
Can you use names, buddy?
He doesn't think she did. Or at least he hopes she didn't.
What happened on Sunday night?
Classier came down. She seemed really out of it. Drugged up, even more than usual. Bug-eyed and gurning, you know? Not in a fun way.
Yeah, like an addict.
It looked like she'd redosed after something went down. I've seen that look before. She was scared. I knew someone had died.
How'd you know?
I've done this job for 10 years. I've seen it before. It's the politician in the motel room with the dead hooker scenario. Only in reverse.
Yeah.
Good analogy, boss.
The rat-faced man snickers.
You don't get to talk yet, Shanky.
He points at him.
You're still on the bench. And you keep taking it easy too, Angus.
He turns back to us. What happened then?
We went upstairs. Sure as day the merc was dead. There was a bullet hole through the window.
Right.
Fucking dirty sheets and bottles everywhere. Tibbs patched the window. And the corpse. We hanged.
Who's Tibbs?
Yeah. He's my brother. He's in the window replacement business.
Right now, he's grateful he hasn't gotten his brother into this mess.
Whose idea was it to hang him anyway?
In a manner of speaking.
Is it her idea? What do you mean?
We had help from another girl. It was her idea to hang him, and I liked it for political reasons. It sent a good message.
It's her, isn't it? The drug trafficker, the missing 8th Hardy.
Fella, you think too much. He's off all right. You're gonna hurt your head.
The big guy steps towards you.
A little too far there, but you're definitely right.
That woman is just affiliated with the Hardy Boys. You don't know her, anyway.
Anything, Titus?
Nope. You're not getting to her. It's Klasia you want to talk to.
We did it, Kimmy.
The lieutenant gives a smile only you can see.
I don't care about them fighting, to be honest. But alright, I'm sorry, dude.
Me too.
Thanks for this, Titus. I'll go and try and wrap things up with Clashy.
You do that. Hey, cop. Before you go.
He grabs his beer and swirls it in his hand, then thinks of something. Yes, Titus?
Klasia, came to Martinez to hide. Many of us did. This is where you wash up when there's nowhere left to go. The Union takes you in. Now, she refused that protection, but...
Still, after all this headache...
But you would still prefer if we didn't take her away.
That's right. If we didn't take care of the people who end up here, this place would just be a couple of ruins and some cargo containers.
We'll take that into account.
The lieutenant slides his notebook into his coat pocket and turns to leave. Alright, we got the full picture then. So there are 2 women involved, and we've got the woman from behind the bar as well, obviously. Yeah, confront Clashy with the Hardy story, yeah. And we still need to... Well, we know that Clashy was the one who rang, but there's still the girl who worked here, right? Alright, let's go and wrap this up with Clashy. We haven't got enough money to stay the night, guys. I don't know what we're going to do. I've not got anything I can sell. I can ask Joyce for money. I might have to. No, Kimmy, I'm alright. Oh no, I'll talk to Kimmy. Kimmy, come here, mate. Kimmy.
Yes?
Guess not. Alright, let's get the full picture. In a couple of loading screens time. So that's why the window was replaced. He was shot here. He was shot on this balcony. It's It's got to be the bureaucrat, right? Because he has a view of this from over there. What's his? We haven't got his name, but the attractive young man with the open shirt has kind of been is there listening to the conversation we've just had with Titus, right? It's all a bit suspicious. All right, just had to go get a drink. Don't know why I'm so thirsty. Right, Clashy. We've got the full picture.
It's always good to see you.
She cracks a weary smile, leaning back against the railing.
Something in her demeanor has changed. She's tired, consigned to her fate, to being here with you and what's to come.
The Hardy Boys told us what really happened.
I understand.
She puts her coffee mug on the table. Right now, I am worried that she's going to do something silly if she thinks we're going to arrest her. Like commit suicide or something because she's wanted, right?
Just like that. No resistance. Her shoulders are slouched, her feet long and straight.
You don't look surprised. You were expecting this.
I knew there was a chance you'd get them to tell you. It's what you do. You're the police. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for wasting your time.
Self-preservation, it's all good.
If you knew we would find out eventually, why did you waste our time?
Because of the Hardys. I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me. Out of the shit I'd gotten into.
She looks at her feet. That's not a good enough reason, though.
You're right. There's more.
Go on.
You answer to the coalition government, and by extension, the moral intern.
She reaches for a new cigarette.
Briefly glancing over her shoulder to the sea, as she's done time and time again. A grand expanse of water reaches over the bay and to the horizon, wine dark in the evening light.
What lies beyond it, Clashy?
The Pearl, the Muindi Isola, the Occident, and then Oranje, the old world. The conference centers, the people who are angry at her, her past.
Is that why you're looking over your shoulder? You're afraid of the moral intern? What's the RCM's involvement with this moral intern got to do with this? The RCM isn't the lapdog of the moral intern. You don't have to worry. We can't promise her that. Is that why you're looking over your shoulder?
You share a database with them. You send people to their courts.
She nods, then she lights the cigarette. Is this about the people you mentioned, the ones who are angry at you? Is this part of why Oranje is a bad memory for you? What's going on? What did you do?
Just business. But bad business for some people in the moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me. They will...
What happens if they do?
Execution?
They will kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill, well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. This murder didn't have anything to do with me.
Did it not? There's a wince and a pained little smile. Were they not targeting you and hit him by accident? That's what the Hardys maybe suggested, right?
Here we go. For once, you seem to have her off guard.
What did you do to have these people after you? What happened here the night he died? Why did you call the cops if you're hiding? When was the window changed? What did you do to have these people after you?
It's not nice, but it's not illegal. Not here in Revachol, or even in Oranje.
What exactly did you do?
Industrial espionage. I joined a business collective with the intention of betraying them. I did my job well enough to be asked to do it again. With a bigger company. The kind you really, really don't fuck with. I took their ledgers, 2 decades worth of accounting.
Wild Pines.
I need the names of the companies involved and who hired you.
He tapped on his notebook.
The job was Lugos County Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Lugos conglomerate. That was the second job. The first was some printer company. You wouldn't know them.
But she really destroyed them. She still feels it.
As to who hired me for the job, I don't know. But they're after me too, along with Lugos and their friends in the MI. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies. You're radioactive.
I'm sure there are people who've done much worse than that. Serves them right. When I'm king, this savings bank will be the first against the wall. You're right, this is bad. You've destroyed what people have built. That's a lot of shit you've gotten yourself into. Yeah, you've dug yourself into a pretty big hole, Clashy.
It is. Many people lost their jobs. Not just C-suite. Ordinary people. What I did to get to accounting...
She shakes her head at the thought.
A lot of people got hurt.
She concludes.
But that's just more of my shit you shouldn't have to deal with. You're solving a murder.
That can wait. Look into her eyes. There's more.
What did you do?
One of them killed themselves because of me.
She looks down, then into your eyes. That's bad. How do you live with yourself? That's not easy to deal with.
How do you deal with anything? It's all just... How do you do it?
I don't.
There you have it. The way of the warrior.
She's already almost devoured the cigarette she just lit and looks at it sadly. I guess that explains why she thinks she's old at 28, right? It's her soul that's aged. What happened here the night that he died?
We were there. Together. In bed, I mean.
She points to the window. The silhouette of the bed is visible. Tell me exactly what happened.
Okay. He was in a kneeling position. He had just entered me. I was on my back, looking at him. I heard the window behind me shatter, and I turned to look. There was a hole in the glass. I turned back to him. His eyes were looking through me, and his mouth was open, dumb. I could see. I could.
Her chest rises and falls with each word. She keeps herself together and says it.
I knew he was dead before he fell down on top of me.
You were right. He did enjoy the moment of his death.
But my feeling was right earlier. He was enjoying the moment of his death. Better not to mention it. What happened next?
He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. There. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow, not to scream, then ran downstairs.
There's a long pause. She just stands there, her arms at her sides.
I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. It never came.
She's forgotten about her cigarette. The butt has burned right down to her fingernails.
Your cigarette, Clashy.
Oh.
She looks at it and quickly tosses the butt aside. I'm sorry you had to go through this.
So am I.
She immediately proceeds to light another one.
What time was this? When did it happen? It would help us if you could be as precise as possible.
11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time. Around midnight.
It's okay. Were you inebriated?
Not as much as usual. He'd done a line, plus other things. I was drinking.
Wait. Titus said she was gurning her jaw off, much more than usual.
She might have done that after he died. Titus said you looked really high, though.
Oh, yeah. I did one of his lines, just to clear my head.
She tilts her head.
Did you hear or see the shooter in the course of this?
No,
What did you do then?
nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room downstairs. I got some clothes on and crawled back up, drew the blinds. Blood was coming from his mouth. Not a lot, just a little. He was still on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore, so I ran down and out of my room, into the hallway, down the stairs. I knew there would be people there.
Run, woman. Run past them and out into the streets where it's dark and people move. To the lorries at the intersection, as far as you can.
Why didn't you run away from here? As a matter of fact, why are you here now? Yeah.
I already ran. I
Yeah.
ran from an entire Isola. I can't run any further. Not with these people. This is as far as it gets.
Point of no return, right? And what happened after you ran downstairs?
Sylvie was tending the bar.
Sylvie?
A lot of people were there. The Hardys were at the table in front of the stage. I think the Union box was full. Ruby was there too. They were having such a good time. I sat down and they all welcomed me. I didn't even have to say anything. Ruby knew something was wrong.
Ruby?
Ruby?
Who's Ruby?
Ruby. You know, the leader.
The leader? Of what?
The Hardys.
The Hardy Boys.
So it's not Titus.
Well, nominally, yes. Ruby's the one they go to when things happen, like things they need taken care of. She's the organizer.
We got it.
Would you say she is the 8th Hardy Boy?
He looks at us.
Why not?
Does she also party with Ruby, however?
Did you party with Ruby too?
No.
She smiles nervously, the beads of her teeth shine. Oh, I didn't mean that in a lurid way, sorry.
Still, there is something there.
Yeah.
She won't tell you now.
Okay. Okay, what then?
Well, Ruby said let's talk upstairs. I showed her the room. I've known these people since December.
About
They
4
know my
months.
situation, but I can't leave a paper trail. Ruby was the first one I told. She said she'd take care of this. It's what she does, you know, take care of things. I helped her get the body to the bathroom. We used a belt to pull him up under the shower, to keep him upright.
To mislead you, they were tampering with the body.
To produce lividity, matching a hanging?
Yes.
We completely missed the tampering. Looks like you got there in time. What was this, 20 minutes after death?
About 20, yes. Ruby explained it would make the blood... You know what he does.
She looks at the ground, then raises her light brown eyes to meet yours. What next?
Ruby went outside to talk to Titus and the boys. I was just looking at Lely in the bathroom. I had to put his clothes back on. His armor, too. It was tough, but I've seen him take it off and put it on many times. It took Ruby maybe half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do, make it look like a hanging. Ruby said they would.
What did you do while they were hanging him?
Ruby said to wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while, that we should lay low or something. So I did.
This Ruby? Where is this Ruby now?
I don't know. I haven't seen her since.
We will need to take this question to the Hardy Boys.
Interesting. Why did this Ruby go through so much trouble to hide something someone else did? Look into this later. What are you doing? Coming up with a theory.
Yeah.
She said Ruby knew something was wrong before she said anything. How come? It was loud downstairs. She couldn't have heard the shot.
Maybe Ruby's responsible for his death.
It is ominous. You already coming up with theories that put the blame on someone other than Clausia.
That is true. The self-fulfilling prophecy of volition. Did you hear the gunshot?
When he was shot? I may have. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything over the glass exploding.
The gunshot wasn't that loud. This is something to keep in mind when assessing the distance of the shot.
Was it you, Clashy?
What? Why would I put myself through this? Insanity. Get myself cornered like this.
She gathers the last vestiges of her strength. There's a silence.
He wouldn't have died if it weren't for me. I know that. But I would never hurt him.
It could have been a desire murder. Maybe an act of jealousy. He was a serviceman. He must have had a gun lying around, close to her hand. A military weapon using jacketed ammunition. Now you guys suddenly have theories pouring out, when they're obviously just stabs in the dark.
Yeah. Downstairs, people have this crazy idea that it might have been you.
I'm sad to hear that. They must have said it in some fit of frustration or
That's true.
under pressure. They couldn't have meant it. I've talked to them after it happened. No one has implicated me.
Was it not in self-defense?
I did not kill him to defend myself from rape. I told you before. That wasn't what happened.
Desires drive people loco.
She simply shakes her head.
Must have had a weapon nearby. You could have used that.
No. I specifically asked him not to carry firearms when he was with me. He only had his stupid armor.
The bullet in his head, it was jacketed, a military grade. Who else here has a military rifle?
I don't know. His friends have rifles. Maybe those psychos did it. Coalition military have rifles. I'm not a munitions expert, and I did not shoot him.
A bureaucrat, man. A bureaucrat.
She might have been a tad disingenuous when she avoided talking about the bullet in his head before. Look who's waking up from 1,000 years of sleep.
You've lied to me about this bullet before. When I said he was shot, you said you're confused.
I've said I'm sorry. What more do you want me to say? I did my best not to lie. It didn't always work.
All right, moving on.
Like what?
Could the people after you have killed him?
That's the first thing that went through my head when I heard the glass break.
And?
I thought they'd found me. They've killed him to punish me. All last week, I've tried not to talk to anyone or be seen with anyone.
She looks at her cigarette.
So they wouldn't be hurt. I've come to understand, however, this is paranoia. What happened didn't have anything to do with me.
Either way, something to consider.
We can't go after Loose Cap. Not yet. There are other, saner leads.
I don't ask you to, Lieutenant. If there's one thing I know, it's that you'll get nothing from there.
Why did you call the cops if you're in hiding?
Because I'm an idiot.
The answer comes fast.
Which is an indicator of truth. Idiot. She's nothing of the sort.
So you would have us believe, but you're not. Man, Volition's really got in my head about trusting. So you would have us believe, but you don't seem like an idiot. Manipulative, maybe, but...
You have to understand, the people around here, no one was making the call, and he kept rotting. And then they picked his clothes off, and that little fucker threw stones at him.
I mean, you have to wonder at what point during all this she, like, self-preservation kicks in. Because, you know, once he's dead, then she has to consider calling the police. It's going to come round to her eventually. So it's just maybe she's just not thinking straight.
Her jaw is clenched. Her throat moves. It takes all her strength not to cave in and sob. Once. Just one time.
He kept throwing stones at him for 3 days. I could hear the thud. thud. So I called you. I hope with all my heart it's not the last thing I do in Revachol.
She definitely called the cops. That was task complete. It could not have been a lie. That is impossible.
Volition.
Oh God, that was a lie too. Who made the call then?
Huh.
She did, of course. Don't be paranoid, man. It's unbecoming of a police officer, and it makes you sweat.
So maybe she didn't make the call, maybe it was the other girl, whose name I've consistently forgotten. When was the window changed?
Last week. Angus and Titus's brother, I think he's called Tibbs, took care of it.
She takes a drag, that's consistent with what Titus said.
You should have another look at that window after this. Reconstruct the scene. It's right there.
In her bedroom inside?
Yes, you see the glass sparkling out of the corner of your eye.
I think that's all we need at the minute, Clashy.
She nods, silently. She doesn't even smoke. Just picks up the cold coffee and holds it in her hands.
The lieutenant glances at you, then at the door.
He's thinking, are we done here? Or should we arrest her? She's a flight risk and she lied to you. She should be taken into custody. No, that won't be necessary. Just leave her alone. She's been through enough. She doesn't need this police brutality.
Everyone's bickering.
This guy won't budge. You have to wake Multiface up, forcefully, if you want to continue pushing her.
Another 83, dude. This isn't a good omen. I think this is going to miss.
But we are awake, sire. She has been forthcoming with sordid details women usually conceal. Most shocking details of the sexual kind. We are a bulwark, unbreached. You've been breached, bulwark. You've been breached like 1,000 times now. So you say, but give us one example of deceit. Just one example.
She was confused when I asked about the bullet in his head. That was a lie. I remember doubting she made the call she said she made to the police. When I said the deceased enjoyed his moment of death, she knew it was true, but she said nothing. Just a proposition. Could the lurid explicitness conceal something less sensational but more illegal? I got nothing, you're right, wise counsel. It's silly of me to imply she's lied. I don't know if we missed the roll like that, if the option is still here, it's just not clear which one it is. The bullet in his head, she was possibly still trying to avoid the real explanation, so that's why she lied there. The call to the police doesn't make sense in her circumstances, sure. But she's saying she couldn't stand seeing the body there. Could the lurid explicitness conceal something less sensational but more illegal? Enjoyed the moment of death. Obvious why she might not want to tell us that he died while they were in the middle, right? Was that a red check? That was a red check, wasn't it? Yeah, could the lurid explicitness conceal something more sensational?
Who is this personhood picking these seditious options? Can't you see the detective grows weary of your malcontent? Stop staring at her eyes and say something pertinent to the case. This is making you look like an amateur. It looks like this one's not waking up. You'll have to do it without pushing her further. At least for now.
I've not got the skill points. Anyway. Alright guys, this is a long episode. Fascinating, we've revealed the many layers to this situation, it seems. but we're still not quite there yet. I know I said I wasn't going to put points for white into stuff for white checks, but when we go down and talk to Titus, it might reveal a bit more. But I do want to put points into drama. It's not like visual calculus or hand-eye coordination or esprit de corps or authority that I don't really want to put the point into. I do quite like having drama. Just feel like savoir-faire's getting left behind. Anyway, we'll leave that episode there. We'll go and talk to Titus in the next episode and hopefully unlock that drama check somehow. We need to find Ruby's location. I don't know if they're still going to be downstairs, but we'll find out in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. Leave me a like if you did. Just remember, everybody, never trust an uncrate. I'll see you back in Revachol.